Ready? Oh yeah, we're welcome to the new episode of the Giant Bear Podcast. It's your boy
You're,
Eli. Got my co-host
you're,
JB in the house.
what's going on? What's
Trying to
going
get
on?
everybody logged in, check it out. Yeah, we're gonna have a fun night. I got a little bit of drink. We're gonna have to really pace ourselves with the alcohol because
We don't really need to have too much anyway, so
uh,
we're doing all right.
Are we doing okay?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, fair enough. I got a couple things to talk about. I mean, again, the NFL season is over, but there's still some NFL news. They're still trying to make headlines. They're still trying to be relevant no matter what happens. And then the newly formed league, the AAF. JB, were you able to catch a couple games over the weekend?
No, I saw the highlights. I didn't really watch the games though. I figured I'd do the ESPN thing just to to start it off. Show me the interesting shit first, and then like as it gradually gets better, I'll join in. I'll bandwagon that shit. I'm good. But it seemed to be interesting though, so I'll catch the ones that's coming up because now I don't want to miss it.
So I was actually sorry, I'm trying to get everything. You know what? Y'all can wait. It's okay. we'll be all right.
We got some time for anybody really joins in.
We really do. I mean, we're not. I'm not in a rush. No, but so no, I was actually able to catch a couple games, and I forgot that the season was even like launching. But I was just like scrolling through the TV on Saturday, and I was like, "Holy crap! There's a new league. What is this?" And so I was able to check out a couple games. I already have like a favorite team, Memphis, and the only reason is because Mike Singletary. I got number 50 on today right now. Mike Singletary is the coach of Memphis, so I was like, "Oh, check it out." I think we could do that. I think we could have some fun with it. But I was watching a couple games, and I think it's pretty interesting. It's the NFL without the whack-ass rules. That's really what it comes down to. I mean, that's the only way I can describe it. So some of the big differences that I saw, they don't have any kickoffs. There's no kickers. You don't know how important that is to me right now to not rely on any kicker.
But then again, do you believe that your team would have succeeded without a kicker? You believe y'all would have been all right on all 2-point conversions?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. Okay, I would have had more faith in our 2-point conversions than Cody Parkey.
Gotcha.
I definitely would have. So, no, right there off the bat, I'm already kind of like digging the league just because of that. We don't need kickers. It's okay. You can be gone. I don't really need it. So yeah, everything is 2-point conversion. There's no PATs. There's none of that. No kickoffs. No returns. They literally as soon as they score the touchdown, they go for the 2. They either make it or they don't, and they literally put them at the 20-yard line and go right back to offense. So ain't no kickoff commercial break. None of that.
All them unnecessary injuries. But I did see that Bill Polian said that was a sticking point for the whole situation for him was that he had to take away the kickoffs and the extra points because they weren't really serving any purpose. So,
correct.
I mean, I understand. It makes sense.
You're just running full speed, hoping to just injure somebody. That's the only thing I got from it.
Basically,
I don't know. I played a little special team when I was still playing, and that was the worst thing ever. Like I didn't really dig it too much. But no, that was a really cool thing. The other big thing that I absolutely love, and I hope you saw this highlight. I forgot the 2 teams, but the hits. They have legal hits. And I really wish, like, again, when we start getting into this and actually starting being able to be more creative with this, we're gonna put up highlights. I don't know if we would get sued for that. Do we get sued for putting up highlights? I don't know. We'll see about that. I don't know. I like taking risks.
There's a caveat somewhere there that says don't do it, but fuck it. Like, if you tell us to stop, those would be good problems. So I'm with it.
Fair enough. So, but I saw this one hit on this quarterback. It was literally coming off his blind side. Didn't even see it coming, and he picked that boy off his feet. Yeah, his helmet got knocked off. And I'm sitting there watching this game, and I'm like, well, where's the flag? There has to be a flag coming, right? And no flag came.
No, fuck a flag.
Not a single flag came, and you don't understand how much joy that brought to my heart that I was able to see this man get uplifted.
The rest is just sitting there like, get up. We got another down to be played. Get
like,
up.
Let's go. We're done here.
This is the
play's
National
over.
Football League. You saw the name on the helmet.
They are not protecting these quarterbacks. If you get hit, you get hit. Like
that's what football is.
That's what it's supposed to be. That's what we miss. And then ever since Roger Goodell took over, that's been a big thing that he's been trying to do is make the league safer, make it more for the offense to score points. That's what I was going to say.
I wouldn't use safe as a term.
Fair enough.
I would say he's made it a quarterback friendly league.
Yep.
Especially for, aggression towards the quarterback, any of that type of shit. And also the play for, cornerbacks against receivers, how they can play them on the line.
Yeah.
It's more physical. It's less physical there. The pass interference call. So he's catered towards the offenses, but making it safer, no. I mean, the helmet-to-helmet rule, I guess, but
yeah,
not so much.
No, I get it. I get it. Now, I mean, there's a couple of things. I mean, it's a new take on the league, and I'm digging it. So the big question from this, though, because, I mean, again, they're going to go through their growing pains. They're going to do all that. But my thing is this good for the NFL? Is this good or bad? How do you think they're going to react to this?
I miss Nicole. I said, thanks for shouting us out. Appreciate it. Appreciate you for watching. I don't think it hurts them. I think it's probably going to have the same effect that the D League had on the NBA. They were a little skeptical about it, and less teams were willing to use those teams as farm systems initially. But once they saw the upside to it, which, like we talked about with the quarterback for the Redskins, like how he used it being that he was the highest drafted quarterback in the AAF, and they got out clauses for them to go out and enter the NFL. And it's during the NFL's offseason, so it's ultra convenient. So I think it all makes sense for them to use it in that capacity. Plus, we don't have that here. I mean, there's semi-pro leagues all over the country, but how much of those have the accessibility, like being on CBS or whatever it was, us being able to see it, the fan interaction, how they had the referee more involved, and that's different. So I think they're headed in the right direction, though. I mean, the quality of play is really going to speak to it, though.
Yeah, and I think that's what it's coming to. Like when I'm looking at some of these players, some of their stories. I mean, these are players obviously that couldn't make it in the NFL, or they're past their prime, and college players that didn't get drafted or signed. It's really for the first chances and the second chances, some even for the third chances, because your boy Trent Richardson was out there running the ball. Not well. No, not well
That's
at all.
That's what I'm saying. Like he doesn't stand a chance.
He looks out of shape, honestly. Like
that was his problem at first.
Like he still looks out of shape, and it's just pretty. It's pretty unfortunate.
We saw C.J. Anderson in the NFL look a little heavy and still be effective, but Trent Richardson, nigga, that's not you. You wasn't good when you was right and tight. Pause. Like, let's not push the envelope with the size thing. But no, I think it'll be interesting. I mean, and I'm all for anything that gives more opportunities to be seen and get a chance, because these leagues, even with the NFL, the draft is extensive. It's a lot of different rounds, but think about how many colleges, like you spoke to earlier, so many different colleges out there, so many football players that don't get a chance to make it in the league, and then it just dwindles. So I think it's interesting. I appreciate it. You know what I mean? I appreciate it.
Yeah. And I mean, it's good that they are doing it in the offseason of the NFL, so they don't have that competition. I mean, that's just smart of them. You needed to do that.
You never get anybody to watch it if it was during the season. Never. Nobody ever watched that shit. So
don't be turning up your face at the liquor. Just enjoy it.
Listen, anybody watch it, just so you know, clear liquor, it makes me feel like a child. So I can drink it, but I don't quite feel like a grown up while I'm drinking it.
Ladies and gentlemen, just FYI, it's not cheap clear liquor. We are drinking Grey Goose.
Hey,
I really want them to sponsor us. Can somebody reach out if anybody knows, the marketing department or anything like that? I will surely support your liquor every show, no matter what. I would love it to death. So just if anybody listening to this, anybody that sees this,
that shit is lightning strong. It's cool when it goes down.
Don't say it's bad because it's going to ruin it.
No, I'm good with
ruin our chances.
It's one of the clears I can deal with. Like, I'm cool with Grey Goose. I'm cool with Ciroc. But I'm more of a dark liquor guy. Like, I'm a Hennessy guy. So I dwindle in other things, but if you show me some Hennessy, I'm down for certain brandies and Courvoisiers,
Yeah.
but I'm not a whiskey guy though. Don't give me no whiskey. That'll make me call it a night.
Well, I mean, that's what a lot of people do. I don't ever like to drink whiskey when I'm out and about. Like that just seems like a horrible.
That's a cowboy drink. You out here drinking whiskey on the reg? Like, you low key got some Spurs in a hat somewhere.
The only time I drink whiskey when I'm out is like if I'm at a cigar bar. Like I'm literally just sitting there.
Well, that's kind of a setting for it. That's a setting for it.
I'm not finna go to like Club O or some Jack Daniels. No, this is not how this works.
I made that mistake listening to good old Hammy. So shout out to Hammy, my guy Hambone.
He needs to check this out. Yes, man. Because he destroyed a lot of lives that night.
That boy had me out here drinking Jack and Cokes and leaving a company party to go walk around the mall with my family to go fucking shopping for Christmas. So shout out to Hammy for the Jack and Coke. But
shame on it.
What else we got on here, man?
Well, just piggybacking off the AF. So I do think One Piece is going to frustrate fans, and it's what I'm even thinking about when you're talking about these legal hits. And the fact that you're allowing this, I look at the NFL and say, well, why? Why is this league okay to do this, but you guys are not? Well, I mean, I get it. It's a brand new league. They're trying new things. I understand that 100%. But if you're talking about what made football great, some of the biggest highlights are not the touchdowns, at least in my opinion.
That's the hits, yeah.
Like, again, you go back to the days of like Ed Reed when he used to light somebody up. That was one of the greatest things ever. Ray Lewis, all of the Brian Urlacher, anybody that just came in, the Colonel Bob Sanders from the Indianapolis Colts, come in and he lights you up. That was like the greatest thing. Now, again, I get it. Injuries happen. But obviously,
it's just the number of it and the time. I think the problem the NFL has with it is that there's been so much time where like the players of old, and one thing was like the health insurance thing and what they're covered for. So now you got these old players that's going to these doctors and that's dealing with these issues that they're dealing with from these contacts, CTE and everything, and they can't afford to pay for the treatment, and so they're being affected by it. So they're suing the league. So I think this league, as they proceed, they're not. It's cool that you do this for the first year, and you kind of get, accustomed to seeing it for the first year. But it's not sustainable. Like, I don't think it's sustainable at all. I think this is they're gonna allow it as long as they getting views, and then you'll see it decrease once people start, complaining. But yeah, I think it's dope though. I don't have a problem with it. I think it's some competition there between them and the XFL. However the XFL does it, because I think they still. One thing that talks is capital. So if you got the money to put into a league is one thing. So what you pay these players. I like the thought process behind what they paying the AAF players too. But it's still, I mean, it's damn near equivalent to what you get paid in the NFL if you're not really a good player. You know what I mean? It's not too far-fetched for them to be able to go there and make the same thing, not for the top tier, like what we talked about just now with Colin Kaepernick. Like, you get certain players, $20 million.
I saw that article, and I was actually able to briefly read it. That is amazing to me. That is amazing to me that, again, I get the allure. Obviously, getting Colin Kaepernick, that will elevate your brand purely for the controversial sake. I mean, people are going to either watch it or they're going to elevate that name because they're going to be talking about it. But the fact that you, as a 35-year-old quarterback who has not played on a professional level in 2 years, you're now demanding $20 million?
Because I think the only reason he's doing this is because he knows the type of revenue he can generate to that league if he shows up with that uniform on.
Fair enough.
And plays even half well. But what fucked me up about it that I seen was that, and I don't know if they said if it was the XFL or the AAF, but they was like how they said how they reached out, but talking about if he played with them, he'd have to follow their rules and guidelines. I'm like, ain't y'all learned nothing from this nigga? Like, he don't play by nobody's rules. Like, That's what y'all think y'all got it that good to where y'all could talk. And I think I seen somewhere they was trying to get Tim Tebow there too. Like, you gonna have to pay Tim Tebow out the ass balls to get him out there to play football for your league. Get out of here.
It was always funny when Tim Tebow was still in the NFL, and I used to hear people arguing about how he's a good quarterback and how he's a clutch quarterback.
No, he's a good college quarterback.
That was laughable.
There's a certain system that they allow that makes what he does, interesting. But
he also had a hell of a talent, and when he was back in Florida too.
But let's not shit on Tebow like he didn't win a playoff game in the NFL.
I'm gonna shit on Tebow because that was the luckiest win ever. All of his wins were lucky.
How many wins? How many more wins does Tebow have over your quarterback right now?
He does not.
What you mean?
He does not have more wins than Mitchell Trubisky.
I'm talking about playoff wins. There we go. There we go. That's all I wanted to know. Like, let's not shit on Tim Tebow like he didn't do his thing at least once.
Mitchell Trubisky is a better quarterback.
And it was the same, damn near the same amount of time. He was in the league about the same amount of time. It was probably about he took them in his second year. The pass to Demaryius Thomas. That glorious run.
That was a broken coverage.
It was glorious.
Stop it.
It was glorious.
The Steelers didn't give him any credit.
I'm just saying, in order for you to come at somebody like a Kaepernick or a Tim Tebow, somebody who's had however much success you want to equate. Now, Kaepernick, for somebody that
yes, he went to the Super Bowl.
Take a team
we
to
went
the
back-to-back NFC championships, and he went to the
broke ass league. Bill Polian, you better give me $20 million. Better give me $20 million. Stop fucking playing with me. They got it somewhere because even the dude that helped start it. He talked about how he got the funding for it out, and they asked him, like, where you get the money to pay these players. He's like, I took, I'm getting all my funding from Silicon Valley. So it's unlimited. The money is there. Pay that man if you want him there. They know.
Like, do we know the highest paid player in the AAF?
That's a good question.
Let me see.
Get your research going. You real good at that.
That'd just be interesting.
It gotta be the quarterbacks even still. I bet you it's Christian Hackenberg. I bet you.
Is he out there?
Yeah.
I didn't even know.
That's the only name I read. That's the only name I recognize outside of Trent Richardson. He was maybe like one or two more people. But I bet you it's like Christian Hackenberg. But they need to get out there. Bryce Petty, all of them, man. Like, get y'all ass out there. Like, y'all ain't getting no PT. You probably ain't even on the damn team anymore, let alone playing any substantial minutes. So just go ahead and get out there, man. XFL it or AAF it, whatever it's called. They better get more creative with them jerseys, though. Them jerseys look like them jerseys on Madden.
Yeah, they look terrible. Yeah. They just ran. Bro, like the highest paid player in the AAF right now has a contract of $250K.
Who is it? Who is it?
It's not even giving me a name. That's bullshit. Come on.
So they gave them fucking
they gave them like minimum contracts. They was like, we'll just do this on a trial run. Go ahead and
$250K.
So if you're talking about players in new league to get 3-year $250K contracts.
3-year $250K.
Exactly.
So they get $250K over 3 years. Jeez.
75 per season.
Yeah.
So
that's not bad though. But that's the highest paid player.
But is it really not that bad? Like, because you're getting hit. Like, it's not even like it's
65 racks a year. I mean,
okay,
you could be doing worse. I mean, think about where else they was at. A lot of these niggas be at the grocery stores and shit. Niggas be physical trainers. so you could be out here at somebody's LA Fitness, you know what I'm saying, training every Dick and Harry out here. But
I get it. Not fair enough. But that's my point. So, like, if we're talking about these guys are getting paid $250,000 over 3 years, and this man just comes out of nowhere and just, I want $20 million. Can we like just shorten the gap here?
He was giving y'all this. They showed up at his door and he hit him with one of these.
Like, damn, can you ask for like $5 million just in perspective to the league? Like, shit.
Because I don't want to play for y'all. This is a joke. This is a fucking joke. Like, y'all not finna play with me.
Oh, my God. So I saw an article, like, just speaking of Colin Kaepernick and the whole Nike thing. This is the funniest thing because it was just hilarious to me. And you'll appreciate this. So there was an article today where a sports store actually went out of business because they were trying to protest
I seen that.
Colin Kaepernick. So they were not selling Nike equipment in their sports store. How stupid can you be as a business owner? I get it. You want to be on your moral stance. You want to do all these things. You don't agree with what he did. Fine, whatever. But you're going to go so far as a sports store to not sell Nike?
The highest rated brand out there.
What?
Yeah. The highest
what? That's like going to a milk store and not having milk. What are you talking about?
Right.
We just have silk milk. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. Oh my God. What are we talking about here?
They deserve every bit of that. Like sometimes you make a conscious decision to take a stand on certain shit, but at the end of the day,
accept the repercussions.
Right.
You are out of business, sir. Right. Because of horrible business decision.
Good luck with
Good
that.
Lord. Like that was the funniest thing, and I knew I had to bring that in because that is hilarious to me.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, they took a chance there, but at the same time, like it was a dumbass chance.
Yeah.
Just a dumbass chance. Like so
it was
shout out to y'all, going out of business. Good luck selling that New Balance. Selling that Under Armour.
Skechers and shit.
The fuck? Ain't nobody buying that. Like every prominent NFL, NBA, even baseball, soccer, like as the top ranked athletes all wear Nike or a variation of it.
The NFL jerseys are Nike now. Like what? You're not even selling NFL stuff now at this point. What are you doing?
AAF jerseys.
Bro, do you know their jerseys are made by Starter?
Duh. I was going. That's better than I thought. I was gonna throw out like East Bay. Like they was just getting them East Bay jerseys and just putting names on them and like what was the name of the teams? Orlando. What was it?
Something or another. Who cares? You've not been around long enough for me to know your name right now. I'm sorry. Like here's the thing. AAF. I'm interested though. Like I'm not. Wait. Let me say this. I am going to watch, but I'm just. Yeah, I don't.
I'm gonna live through you. I'm gonna let you feel it.
I just don't care right now. Like this, like I'm sorry. Like you guys aren't appealing at this point. But I mean, we'll get there. What did you find it?
The power rankings are out. Right? It's not funny. This is real.
The fucking power
rankings are out. So we got the Arizona, the 1-0 Arizona Hot Shots.
Hot Shots.
The Orlando Apollos. They should have been in Harlem. Harlem, y'all need to get a team and call it the Harlem Apollos.
Oh my God.
Who's on the Arizona Hot Shots? What was they? So former Wake Forest quarterback John Wolford looked sharp, delivering strikes.
Wake Forest, that's an Illinois boy.
So he looked like he had a good game. Orlando's margin to victory over Atlanta was far greater than Arizona's over Salt Lake, blah, blah, blah. Garrett Gilbert needs to make another run in the NFL. Receiver Jalen Marshall is going to be a problem. And Terrence Garvin was
I really want to know the guy who's like writing this because you know how interested you actually have to be to like build up these guys.
Shout out to the Birmingham Iron. Okay.
Where's my team Memphis? Where is that? What is that? Do you see
San Antonio Commanders, the Salt Lake Stallions, the San Diego Fleet. They got the Montre Moore now.
They ain't even got a Chicago team. They just didn't want to do that.
The Memphis Express is 0-1 and they last in the league.
Damn, Mike.
My thing is, it's saying previously number 5, but they all just played their first game. How did you have them ranked?
They were going through the roster, be like, this makes sense.
This nigga was at the AAF training camp.
Like, you look like you were about to be a good team. I'm like, what? What are you looking at?
Against the other 7? What are you graded against? What's the barometer here? But no, that's interesting. I mean, so it's pretty cool. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that at all.
Whatever, they'll be all right. Yeah. They'll figure it out.
Right.
But like I said, I'm. It's not that I'm not interested. It's just I don't care right now. I can't care right now.
They should have took some more time. They shouldn't have had it so close to the Super Bowl. Like they should have took like a month or something and then just had a shorter season. But
I guess they're trying to not overlap on the draft either. I mean, the problem is you're going to go through some stuff. I mean, again, there's the combine in a couple weeks. The draft is in April, and then you're talking about training camp a month or two after that. It's like
they don't really got much time because of the way it's all structured now.
So they just need to kind of accept what's about to happen here. And then who knows what's going to happen when the XFL comes into play. So
But the talent pool will be opening up after the draft, though. I mean, with a lot of those players who don't get drafted, a lot of those people who don't get picked up as undrafted free agents. So the talent pool is going to be there for those who just want to play and be seen. It's 8 teams, So I think the timing is still pretty good because you can hop in the middle of a season if you really wanted to. Like they don't have anything in there that says you have to start by training camp. Like they really have it to where they can pluck you right out of off the draft floor if you don't get drafted. Exactly. So I think it'll open up a little bit. Yeah, and it'll get real interesting.
It'll definitely be interesting to see some of these college players because I mean now that they got their name out there, the AF is a real thing. So I mean, because the way I saw it when I was watching some of these players, it seemed like a lot of 28, 29, and 30-year-old players and up, where it's like, all right, you had your shot, it didn't work, and now you're just trying to redeem yourself rather than, hey, these young cats coming out and they're trying to make a name for themselves.
The bad part, those that's that's the tough part is those that just kind of accepts the reality that they wasn't good enough to make it in the league. And then you got a bunch of them niggas filling your rosters out. So I think that'll make for an interesting situation.
Oh no, it'll definitely be it'll be a dope thing to watch. So I'm excited to see. So moving on, obviously a lot about the AAF, but we'll see how that goes later down the road. We may or may not talk about that depending on. Yeah, it's not looking well, but we do have a little bit of NFL news. We have some potential trades and also some already traded players. Good old former Super Bowl MVP, Baltimore Ravens Joe Flacco got traded to the Denver Broncos.
My man, Average Joe.
What are you feeling about that? Do you think he's going to be successful out there?
I feel like it's kind of like when you driving your car on the highway, like if you got a long trip to take and you want to keep the car going at about a steady 60, 65 and you throw on a cruise control.
Okay.
It's the same thing.
All right.
You're going to get the same thing Casey gave you last year. You know what I mean? So if you're looking for them to improve in any way, you're going to get the same. I don't feel like that changes anything. I mean, Joe Flacco was okay.
Yeah.
But they don't have a lot in Denver for him to really work with it. He's not going there with Demaryius Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders. And like that offense is different. They primarily run the ball now. So he's just a stopgap to whatever quarterback that they choose to draft. But I think it's good for him to still get a chance to start because we saw after the playoffs in Baltimore, my brother, you were done there. Like
he got his money and he was
right.
It was over.
Listen, they see it. Like that's the one thing I would say about the NFL that seems very progressive is that they don't hesitate. The traditional quarterback, in the mindset that it used to, you have to be this height, this weight, play this style. No, it's can you get in here? Can you win? Can we build an offense around
Baker
you?
Mayfield, that man is not 6 foot.
So I mean, Joe Flacco, it was cool when you had a super tough defense, which you still had last year, but like that, the young guy was just there. So I think this is a reflection, and I was looking at some different stuff earlier. They were talking about John Elway and how he should be on the hot seat now, and I don't necessarily agree with that, but I do feel like
not
that
after winning the Super Bowl.
But I feel like that mystique that he had about like being like this quarterback whisperer and being able to bring in quarterbacks and know how to pick them because of his pedigree. I think that was overhyped. I think he got lucky with Peyton Manning.
Yeah, he definitely.
And he picked him up right before the decline because he had a great year, and then that it was a steep drop. Yeah. So I think for the most part, it was a cool pickup, and I'm not mad at it, but it's not something that's going to be – you need something more long-term.
Yeah, I don't really think this is going to do anything. If the Broncos have a good season, it's not going to be because of Joe Flacco. It's going to be because of my man, Vic Fangio. He's going to – if anything, he's going to put that defense in very similar to what he did here in Chicago. That's the only thing that says, hey, all right, this is going to be a pretty decent season. But other than that, Joe, I don't care about you, Joe. Again, you had your one Super Bowl back in, what was that, 2012. You got paid. They gave you $54 million guaranteed, and you did nothing. Nothing.
That year, I would say probably that year that they won the Super Bowl, he probably had one of the greatest Super Bowl, playoff runs.
The postseason.
But other than that, I never felt like Joe Flacco was the guy that was going to get them back there. I felt like they needed something else, which I didn't really understand why they never, either through free agency or through the draft. Now, mind you, Perriman, they did try to draft a receiver, a dynamic receiver. They did try with Steve Smith. the Mike Williams. Well, not Mike Williams. It's
they pulled him.
Just the fast guy.
Oh, Steve Smith.
No, the other one. The one that used to play for Mike.
Take
the top off all the time.
Damn it. I know who you're talking about. I can't remember.
Yeah, so I mean they've had a couple of receivers, and then last year even with Crabtree, Snead, and they tried to get speedy receivers so he can take the top off of defense, but he couldn't do it. It just wasn't really there. So shout out to him for having a great career with the Baltimore Ravens, and maybe he gets to Denver and is the second coming of Peyton Manning. John Elway likes them tall quarterbacks though. The Brock Osweiler's
he's definitely liked them, but I mean they haven't really panned out.
Paxton Lynch. Shout out to Paxton Lynch, my boy.
The third string quarterback on the roster.
My boy.
This is terrible. It's terrible what we're seeing with that. But I mean, whatever. We'll see. Again, I'm gonna hope for the best for Vic out there, but
I think he'll be good with that defense.
But I'm not looking at it as Joe Flacco is gonna bring them to the promised land. No, shut the fuck up. Let's move on.
You're not gonna fool me with that.
Here's the thing, in the division that they're in too. You're talking about, you got to go up against the Chargers and the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Oh, you're done. Who cares about you? You're irrelevant. I'm sorry. There's nothing I can really point to that says you're better than the Chiefs or you're better than San Diego. I don't care.
Nah, it was all based on, they got lucky with the pick, picking up the undrafted guy, Lindsey, him having a good year running back. They lost Demaryius Thomas. Emmanuel Sanders was hurt for the majority of the year. Now, they did have some people step up as far as the receivers, but
they had to. I mean, it doesn't mean
the time. You're a professional. You're expected to play. So, so much for that. I think the other interesting thing is seeing where Le'Veon Bell is going to go. I'm very interested in that.
That would be fun to see.
Man, I'm just thinking of the places that need a running back. But I don't think Le'Veon is the kind of player you take just because you need.
They're thinking about the Jets.
Right.
The Jets might go after him. That would be a good landing spot for him.
Yeah.
Green Bay, they're talking about it, but I mean, y'all know my feelings about them. We just reference back to.
But they got a pretty strong running back there. They just,
Aaron Jones.
Two. Yeah, he was decent.
But I mean, if you're going to pick Aaron Jones
two fantasy games,
if you're going to pick Aaron Jones or Le'Veon Bell, what are we saying?
I mean, you'll have them both. So
they just need some
both. They need some receiver play, man. What happened to and this is totally off topic. But what happened to Martellus Bennett?
He retired. He retired 2 years ago. After that last Super Bowl win in Atlanta.
No, he went to the Packers.
Yeah, after that one. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right.
So he did the 1 year with the Packers
and then he
retired.
Left. Yeah. Oh. He left. Yeah, he dipped it. That's why they went and got Jimmy Graham.
Right. Okay. Because I'm like, what happened to him?
Yeah. He was he called himself the Black Unicorn.
Right.
Yeah. So he was with us for a little bit, and he was fun to watch because we had him, Brandon Marshall, Alshon Jeffrey, and Matt Forte. That was a fun ass offense.
Yeah, he was a beast though. He's been good everywhere he went.
The
he was
Black
good with
Unicorn.
I mean, he was good with. He was young with the Cowboys. He was good with the Giants. He was good with the Bears. He was good with the Patriots. So I didn't know what happened to him. I thought he was still around, but I guess not.
He was a weird motherfucker.
Shout out to Raphael Evans, man.
Hey, Rafa in the house.
Shout out to you, man.
Rafa in the house. That's my guy. He's a dope ass guy. I'm not gonna lie, Rafa.
I'm trying to think of what other transactions that kind of popped up that we maybe have skipped over.
AB Antonio Bryan, officially. What did I say?
Brian. I don't know who that nigga is.
And then Antonio Bryant.
I see he been watching that. This nigga out there. Shout out to Antonio.
He officially asked for a trade. The Steelers are crumbling. What is happening?
Listen, they're not gonna cut that nigga. But
but why not trade him if they can get a good deal for him? Would you not trade him?
What you giving up for AB? Right now.
I mean, a first round pick. Why not?
You would give up a first for AB?
If Amari Cooper can get a first round pick, why can Tony Bryant not get one?
Yeah, you're right. He's older though.
He's better,
but he's older.
Amari Cooper or Antonio Bryant right now?
Antonio Bryant.
What did I say? Stop fucking correcting me.
You just called him Antonio Bryant.
It was. I'm not gonna say what happened because then it's gonna cause other problems.
Yeah, they'll do it. But anyway,
there was complications that happened that restricted me from saying his full name. But Antonio Bryant
There we go. No,
versus
I'm
Amari
just saying
Cooper.
right now, and please somebody chime in on this. Like, what would you give up for Antonio Brown right now?
That's a good fucking question.
I would give up. I mean, depending on who your team is, right? Depending on who your team is,
you need a receiver.
You need a receiver.
Mm-hmm.
So, as a public, because what you're doing is giving up a draft pick, saying that we don't need to draft a receiver, or we're not going to sign with the free agency. We're going to base this upon you. I'm gonna invest a draft pick in you, so that's part of my future I'm giving away for you.
Mm-hmm.
So I need you to last at least 5 years.
I mean, he's gonna give you 3 or 4 good, very good years.
Yeah.
Like at least 90 catches.
I think he'll. No, I don't think they're gonna accommodate his wish to go to San Francisco. I think that's a pipe dream for him. I know he wants
that
to.
would be a dope ass.
It would be super dope.
If Jimmy Garoppolo comes
Jimmy
back.
Garoppolo, was it McKinnon, the running back?
Yeah, Jerick McKinnon.
Jared McKinnon.
I remember him from his Minnesota days.
Yeah, they both got hurt at the beginning, like the start of the season. So to see them healthy and to get a receiver out there, I think that would be super dope. Yeah. I think that would be super dope. Shout out to Coos, man. What's up, Coos? Kenny, what's good, my guy?
No, but there's a lot of spots he can go. But I mean, if he's ready to go, I think you got to honor the wishes because he's going to be just like Le'Veon. He's not going to play for you, really. He's not really going to give a fuck. So why put in the effort for him?
I ain't mad at that boy Le'Veon. Look, I always wonder would somebody be bold enough to pull that off and not play for a year. I always wonder.
And look, he's going to get signed too the very next year.
Fresh legs,
he's going to get signed, no problem. That was bold as hell.
Like, that man was out there running on sand in Miami.
Every deadline that came across that said, "Hey, if he doesn't sign by this, that, and the other, then this is going to happen." And he said, "Fuck that deadline. I'm going through."
I think I want to go chill some more. So y'all talking shit. Oh, y'all still talking shit? All right. I'm going to be over here. I don't got to do nothing else.
How's that not making the playoffs?
Franchise that, nigga. This ain't mad.
Like, bro, that shit was nuts. They put their faith in James Conner. And they said.
Shout out to James Conner, though, for coming in and doing what you were supposed to do. Like, a lot of times you get players that get put in that position, and it's kind of hard to fill those shoes, especially somebody like Le'Veon.
Yeah.
So shout out to you for doing that. Now, if you would just show up in this Madden league that we got popping, my brother, because, I mean, he's ranked like an 85, which is decent. But anyway, that's another story. But, yeah, shout out to James Conner.
Speaking of that Madden league, I won the Super Bowl, by the way. I just want to put that out there.
Yeah, but another thing you want to realize about Elijah is he's like a Madden specialist. Like he's
there's no excuses.
He's not like your every average nigga playing Madden. So
wait, did I tell you the news? I feel like I want to say it again. So just fuck you. Don't look at me like that.
Shout out to all over, Coos. I see you.
So I was pretty excited the other day. I was playing Madden.
This is news.
This is news, and this is big for me for anybody that does play Madden or plays video games. Period, and that plays online and knows how rankings work. Mm-hmm. I literally got the opportunity to play the number 1 player in the world, literally ranked number 1. Final score 28-21 with the W.
My boy won, okay,
bro.
He won.
That was exciting. That was fucking exciting.
That's lit, though. That is lit,
like
though.
Anybody that knows gaming, like that shit. I felt very special about that. I'm not gonna lie. That was a special time for me.
Yeah, that's love. That's love. I mean, that's an accomplishment. You could beat the number 1 player at anything. You're pretty dope. So at least you got that on your record. Maybe one day you'll be up there. We'll look and see you at the top. My guy up there, reigning supreme.
Trying to make it here. Trying to get it. Do whatever I can to make it to the top.
You got to play 40 games a day.
Fuck that.
Or go undefeated. Or just never lose.
I have a child. I have a job. Like, again, for me to make time for this is something. So you going to tell me I'm going to play 40 games a day?
Right.
These motherfuckers, hell no.
What if you're just undefeated and you just got a crazy-ass record? Like, if you just beating everybody ass and don't never lose a game, you know what I'm saying? Like what? I don't know. That doesn't count for them.
I thought my ranking would rise if I beat him, but my shit still stayed at, like, I'm still ranked like 3,000. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, I see you have to play it because some of these motherfuckers' records are like 1,500 wins to padded. Like 200.
It's padded too, like, depending on when you play. like depending on when you play and who you playing against.
No,
See, we talking about the Madden League now, and shout out to Jeff. He trying to make sure everybody's still good for tonight. I'm just.
Oh yeah, we do have our draft tonight. That's right.
Right.
Yeah,
So shout out to Jeff setting it all up.
Yeah, absolutely. Good shit. Jeff Williams, hit him up, man. He he's in a semi-pro league too. So I mean,
he plays semi-pro football.
He does. He be trying to recruit me, but it's all the way in Fort Worth. So if it was any closer, Jeff, I promise you, I'd be there, bro. Like I really would. Right. But like you tripping with that drive, my God, like you tripping hard as hell. But I would be there. So nah, that's dope. What the fuck were we talking? Antonio Brown before Madden and shit. What were we doing? James Conner and all that bullshit. That's how we did it. Yeah. The Steelers, they got a lot of shit to do. They can't keep doing what they're doing. They just need to go into rebuild mode, accept it, and just be done with it. I mean, we're over this. So, anything else on that? We're running out of time here.
No, I think that's enough on that. What else do we got?
I do. So there's a little bit of basketball news that I thought was interesting. So Scottie Pippen is back in the news. Again, talking about the same shit that he always talks about every time they ask him a question.
Michael Jordan.
Like again, at this point, I find it hilarious that we keep bringing Scottie on because
that's why your wife was out here with a rapper, because you out here worried about who good is Michael Jordan. The fuck off the jump, Scottie Pippen.
When I watch him on ESPN, when I watch him on all these shows, I'm like, do y'all ever ask him anything else? It's always, hey, how do you feel about LeBron? How does he compare to Michael? Like. Man,
that's why he's so mad.
Is there any other question that we have for Scottie?
Internally, he like, I don't give a fuck about this nigga. So every time I get a chance to shit on him, I'm gonna do it.
My God.
No, you know what else I thought was interesting while we speaking on that? Did you see the comment about with Michael Jordan when they asked him about what was more impressive, the run of triple doubles that Russ is having in James Harden's 30 games?
6 rings by any means.
What's that? 6 rings? Okay, fuck out of here with that shit.
Nobody cares about triple doubles.
That's why I did. And no disrespect to anybody else, but I had a conversation with a young guy in the barbershop one day, and he was telling me how LeBron coming back from down 3-1 to win was that impressive, and name something that Jordan did that was that impressive. And I was so dumbfounded. I was just like, bro, he won 2 3-peats. And he sat there and was like, yeah, but still though. I'm like, no, there's no more talking now. Like, there's no more talking.
2 3-peats and never went to a game 7.
I had to remind him, like, bro, you ever done something like so dope for so long and just gave up? Like, y'all niggas can't beat me. I'm out of here.
And then
I'm gonna go play another sport. The impatience that he had with baseball, because I remember watching that documentary about him going to play baseball, and he got to the point where he was on the cusp of being great at baseball.
My God,
like
Jeff.
He had just figured it out. So
shout out the Bears.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's love.
Shout out,
I see Koo showing love to the Bears too.
There
Shout out to Mitch Trubisky and Jim McMahon. But yeah, man. So don't have the audacity. Stop. I feel like LeBron can be great without being compared to Jordan, and I just I don't think that you have to put the two in the same. Like, why people don't say who's greater out of Magic and Jordan just because they both had 5. Magic has 5 rings and Jordan has 6.
No.
It ain't necessarily about that. I just wish they would stop putting them in the same conversation, because I don't think there's a way to quantify who's better. Like,
I just wish they would stop asking Scottie. Stop putting him on the TV like the big head ass. Like, I need y'all to
get his ass to fucking divorce court before he gets serious. She gonna take half of everything.
They about to get your ass, bro.
Exactly. Different eras, different type players.
He got it right. That's what it is.
That's the thing. Now, I will say that, depending on how you want to start your team, like if you really want to start a team with somebody who does it all, then LeBron is a guy who kind of can facilitate and score when you need him. But if you got a great point guard like a Jason Kidd or a Steve Nash or a Magic Johnson, then you need a player like
Steve
Jordan.
Kerr
Exactly.
When he was doing it.
Like,
here's my thing, and I think this is what the biggest thing, and this is something that even Scottie said. When you're looking at it, it doesn't come all the way through the talent. Obviously, LeBron is a freak of nature. Mm-hmm. He can do a lot of things. I mean, the field, the court vision that he has is just out of this fucking world. But I think when you look at it, there's a deeper element, and it's something that Kobe had. I'll give y'all a shout out to your LA Lakers. Something that Kobe had and something that Michael had is the killer instinct. It's the one that, hey, I'm about to take over this game,
right,
and I'm about to shut this shit down, right, and it's over. Like, y'all are not winning this.
And you don't see that a lot.
You don't. It's too much of a friendly league right now.
Players who have the ability to score, like KD and But like nobody, the only person that really did it in that capacity recently for me was LeBron. Like the last couple of finals LeBron has played in at the start of the finals last year.
Yeah.
Man was averaging like 40 points and 10 assists, and like it was just ridiculous. So, like you say, different eras, different players. Now that's a good point. Stockton, the greatest PG of all time, most steals and assists in NBA history.
The only thing I'll say about that is it depends on how you define a point guard. That I think that plays a huge role into it. How do you define? Because again, people will look at Steph and say he's going to end up being the best. But again, how do you define that?
Scoring. Well, it depends on what you look for.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, what are you looking for? So, I mean, like I said, I honestly think, Stockton was great, but I mean, I was a huge fan of Steve Nash.
My favorite point guard of all time will always be Jason Kidd.
Yeah, I mean, Jason was a good one too. You know what I mean? But
just because he's all encompassing. Especially once he finally got a jump shot. Like before then, he was just facilitate, drives to the basket.
Yeah.
He couldn't shoot, so they would just play off him. But
I mean, and people tend to, people don't forget, but I mean, Magic was a ridiculous point guard. I mean, being 6'9" and shit. Like what? It really depends on how you define the position. Like, so center and point guard, I think, are the two biggest positions in the NBA where it's like, okay, this can have multiple definitions. It really can. And you don't see that too often with shooting guard, small forward. I mean, again,
no, it's only those two positions.
Yeah. And like with LeBron, I mean, he's like I said, he's the exception for the small forward position.
Right.
But when you look at those, it's like, all right, do you have a scoring point guard? Do you have a facilitator? Do you have a shooter?
If I'm gonna put together a top five, right? If I'm gonna say right now, I'm gonna have in those specific order.
I like this.
I'm gonna say Magic.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Stockton.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Jason Kidd is in mine. I'm gonna say Steve Nash.
Mm-hmm.
And just for shits and giggles, I'm gonna go Steph Curry.
Okay. And I mean, I can respect that. Like I said, my thing would be more of Steve Nash, just because I really felt like he could do it all.
Yeah. And he a 2-time MVP. Anytime he won an MVP twice, you can say what you want about the nigga. Like,
man, was dope.
I'm gonna take Steve Nash over Gary Payton. I'm gonna take him over Mark Jackson. I'm gonna take him over Tim Hardaway. So a lot of people shit on Steve Nash, but that 15 seconds or less offense in Phoenix was crazy.
I mean, a lot of people will put in AI. I mean, you can't really forget about
He's
AI
not
too.
a shooting guard though.
I mean, sure, okay.
I don't think AI ever averaged more than 5 assists. He wouldn't pass.
But remember Jason Williams?
Oh yeah, White Chocolate. That was my guy. Shout out to my guy B. Clark. He's like the biggest fan of White Chocolate.
Jason Williams.
And he'll argue you down.
Sacramento throwing dimes.
Yeah, he should be on this list too. Yeah, but no. I mean, he won a championship with the Heat. It just wasn't because.
Yeah, no, it wasn't him. It was at the end of his career.
Shout out to D Wade.
It is.
How you feel about that's another question? How you feel about the D Wade farewell tour where him switching jerseys with everybody? The jersey swaps like he in college.
I mean, bro, it's your show right now. It's your world. You're going out. Do what you want. I'm fine with it. Mm-hmm. I'm really okay with it. I mean, I'm always gonna have love for D Wade. I mean, he's a Chicago guy. Right. He spent a little time with us. I mean, even though it was at the end of his career, I still appreciated you coming home playing. Now, I wish you would have done it when we were trying to get you when we had D Rose and everybody, and we were trying to facilitate that when you were doing that whole shit with LeBron and them. Right. But that's fine. It is what it is. But again, I don't have a problem with it. Again, I
think it's cool to see. I liked how Kobe did it. I liked how D Wade is doing it, and still kind of going out of their own terms as opposed to like getting an injury and not being able to ever play again. But I definitely I'm a D Wade fan. I don't know, the jersey swap thing is very like why does he need everybody's jersey in his house? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, how does he choose whose jersey he's gonna get? Like, if he plays Minnesota, is he getting a Derrick Rose jersey? Or I thought it was dope how he got one of Jason Williams' jerseys when he went and played against the Kings, even though Jason Williams played with the Heat too. He could have just got a jersey at the damn sports shop, but whatever. But I mean, I think it's decent. I think D Wade still got some in the tank, pause, and I think he probably will play. He'll play this year out, and he'll sit and think about it, and then we'll probably hear from him again.
I hope so. I've always liked D Wade. Like, I didn't like the whole Miami experiment with all the motherfuckers, but that was just more because I didn't like LeBron and Chris Bosh annoyed the fuck out of me. But D Wade, I never had a problem with D Wade.
I respected D Wade in that position because he was the one that stayed put and made them come to him.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, I've won a championship. Like, y'all niggas want to play together. Yeah. Come to me. I've won a championship in the last year or so. Like, I don't need you to do that. Yeah,
I don't really have a bad thing to say. Like,
I
except
saw today that it was a problem with the Dallas media. Some had a problem with Yeah, good point, Jeff. Wade he might be going to the big three. I'd be okay with that if he showed up on the big three playing half court. Fuck that. I'm with that. That is a very valid point. But I wasn't opposed to it. I just think the Miami thing especially was just kind of like I'm accomplished. I've done this.
Yeah.
Y'all come play with me. And I think LeBron knew as long as he played with D Wade, he was just going to continue to win championships with and for him. So he would never surpass him because he was always one ahead. So I'm glad he left there or whatever. But it's interesting now to see. It's interesting.
It's very interesting. Like, so I mean, I dig it. I dig it. And like I said, D Wade.
Yeah, that's what it was. Dirk didn't really want to switch jerseys with him. I mean, he wasn't making it like it was a big deal, but the Mavericks and the Heat. If you talk about a rivalry right now in sports, there's anytime you play a team twice in the finals, that you really got some disdain for them and the manner in which it happened. So I wouldn't be mad at Dirk for being like, nah, I'm gonna keep my jersey, bro.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
Go swap with Luka.
You go do this. I've been doing this way too long. I respect the decision. But like I said, I'm not mad at Dirk for doing that, but I'm not mad at D Wade for trying to do this. Like, again, I respect it 100%, and it's good to see a great go out on his own terms. And
just don't get hurt.
Yeah, don't do that. That's gonna suck. Like, if at some point he gets hurt, like, then it's just gonna be like, well, damn, that was a waste. But it's good. It's good to see him like that. Yeah. We're gonna wrap it up here pretty soon here, but the one other thing that I want to touch on this just really quick. We don't have to spend much time on it, but so apparently there are NFL owners who are like trying to coerce Adam Silver to come run the league in the NFL.
Tired of fucking
Roger Goodell ass,
stiff neck ass.
So I mean, but they got to a point where he actually had to come out and make a statement saying he's not interested. Like, that's how these owners were really trying to persuade him over there.
Why would I want to come over there and deal with y'all and all these niggas with all these headaches and all this extra shit? And no, I don't want to deal with that. No, I'm finna stay over here where we deal with the players. They run the league. They make a shit ton of money.
Yeah,
they're more visible. We have a chance to expand our league into other countries where nobody's trying to line up against the fucking Chicago Bears in Europe right now. You gonna take them out there to play against somebody in the Canadian Football League? Get the fuck out of here. No, there's too much going on. I'm finna stay over here where it's nice and clean.
Yeah.
We can say, hey, if you got a problem in Carolina with equal rights for gays and lesbians and all of that, we won't have our damn All-Star game there until y'all get it together. And he can say that and mean it, and they'll get their shit together. You know what I mean? So I'm not mad at him for just looking at them and saying, well, I'm not finna come deal with that.
All right, I get it.
I'm not.
I get it. Like I said, I thought it was interesting. I thought it was fascinating to kind of see.
Hot commodity. He's a hot commodity.
I mean, what he's done with the league. I mean, I get it. I get it.
Change that whole shit up.
So speaking of owners, so LeBron was stopped and he actually talked about wanting to become an owner after his career.
Yeah, he don't want to be a coach. He's always kind of mentioned that, he's gonna end up buying the Cavs.
You think that's the route that he's gonna go? He's gonna take it back home.
Whatever he wants to get. I think LeBron has proven that for the most part throughout his career. I don't see that being something that's far fetched. I mean, the money's not gonna be an issue. His draw is always going to be there. It's kind of going to be like, and I hate to compare the two. This is not to say one is greater than the other or of any equal value, but it's going to be like Jordan. Like, LeBron's steps to what he's doing fall in line with that from his shoe empire. I think LeBron is just his business acumen as far as other things outside of sports is a little bit more. He has a further reach. Like, he's in the entertainment, that type of shit. His production company is based in Los Angeles. I don't think it's too far-fetched. And then he's working with Magic, who's another savant as far as that. I don't think that's too far-fetched. I think he's right along the path of it.
Well, and here's my thing about that. And I hate to say it, I really do. But if LeBron goes ahead and takes ownership of any team, this is gonna hurt. So you got to give me a minute, and it's a very hard pill to swallow and pause. But I think he'll do a better job than what Michael has done with the Charlotte Bobcats. I do think he'll be a better owner / GM than Michael did, and it sucks to say, but there is something to say about LeBron does know how to build a team. Like, so again, he'll do whatever he can to bring players to him.
Right.
So that, I mean, that kind of leads me to believe that, all right, if you're an owner now, the only thing that would stop that is the consideration of, okay, I'm not playing with LeBron anymore. I'm playing for LeBron. I don't know if that makes a key factor into some of these players' decisions, but the fact that he's able to do it now.
I think the kind of person he is and the kind of businessman he is and the way that he has it all set up. I mean, if he has the power to recruit and get players to play for him now, I mean, the Anthony Davis thing is a prime example of his power.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have to flex my muscle for y'all. My best friend is his agent.
Yep.
So I can just have him to put the word in his ear how great it would be to come play with us.
Correct.
Like, I don't have to do it anymore. You know, I got people in place to do those things. And as long as you listen, the one thing that I've learned in any corporate structure is the power of delegation and the individuals that you have working for you.
Yep.
And he has mastered that. So I don't think it's too far-fetched. I think that he has the ability to work in that capacity and still do the things that he can do. But I would rather see him on the coaching development side. But then again, you know, he still has 2 sons coming up, man.
Yeah.
And his influence ain't gonna stop with just him, because I feel like he has a family environment around him with him and his sons to where he can set them up to be just as successful. I mean, they won't be as good, but you know, he would. Yeah,
probably. I mean, Magic hasn't done it. We got a comment. Yeah, Mike Jones. Like, I definitely agree with you. I don't think Magic has done a good job there. I think.
Well, this is only his second year. You can't.
I thought it was third year. I thought he was on his third.
No, his first year was.
If his first year, he drafted what's his name? Alonzo Ball.
Yeah, this Lonzo's only second year.
Okay, well then maybe.
Yeah, you gotta give him more time than that. I don't think you can base.
Jason Kidd got fired like halfway through his second. I'm sorry. He did 1.5 seasons with the when he was coaching for Brooklyn.
He was a coach though, so it's a different ballgame when you're a coach as opposed to a GM. So, yeah, I mean it's definitely interesting to see, but I think you got to give him some more time.
Yeah, I think you got to give him some more time. I mean, he's definitely gonna get more time now that he has LeBron. That's gonna push out that.
And he got a coach that he didn't hire. That's the other thing about being a GM. If you don't have a staff that you hired and you inherited somebody else's coach, you kind of have to.
Luke Walton should have never been a head coach.
Yeah, he has. You got to give him a chance to draft his own players, make his own moves as far as free agency, and have his own coach there if the coach ain't doing what he's supposed to do. So
fair enough. I respect it. Well. Right. I think that's again, we just got the time yelled at us. That's that. We'll wrap it up. We got to go. But again, we appreciate everybody showing their love. I mean, this has been fun for me. This is something that I wanted to do for a long time. JV has been a beast at this shit. I mean, he's been on the mic for a long time. Anybody who doesn't know, this man is a skilled ass rapper. He actually has a show coming up. When is the show?
March 19th.
March 19th. Check this man out. Get some tickets. The man got shirts. The man, he's doing his thing. Check him out. March 19th. House of Blues. And like I said, we're gonna keep doing this. And we're gonna try to have some fun.
Keep watching, man. Keep commenting.
Yeah.
Like the purpose of it is for us to have a forum where we can discuss sports with other people that know it. And you know, the comments that we get from y'all it helps keep the show rolling. So,
yep.
Just, you know, whenever you can.
A lot of this shit is filibuster.
Right, for real. I didn't even bring no notes today. I relied completely on him. So, man, just keep, you know, the interaction helps. And, you know, any shares, likes, whatever, man, we appreciate it all.
Absolutely.
The more we get, the better we do. And shout out to all y'all, man. We reached 100 followers. This is our 5th episode.
Wow.
So we've reached over 100 followers, man. That's super dope. So
it's dope
I mean, being in the industry of trying to gather fans and people to be familiar with your shit is tough. So for y'all to be able to reach out and show love like that, it means a lot. So man, keep
definitely
that up however you can. Any support we appreciate. So see y'all next week, man, and get some sleep. You know what I'm saying? It's a work week.
It's a school night, ladies and gentlemen.
Right.
Gotta head out of here.